In his own words, he said, quote, "He brought me here. The next morning I had an operation. When I regained consciousness, I was told that I had been changed from a boy to a girl."
What?
Yeah.
They front hole surgery him?
Gave him a fake vagina, Mark.
Oh, yeah!
Good morning and welcome to episode 1487 of Hard Factor. It is Friday, June 21st, 2024, the summer solstice, longest day of the year. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. 80% accuracy guaranteed on this podcast. Patreon.com/Hard Factor for joining us for trivia on the night of Friday, June 28th. It's going to be very fun, 9 p.m. Eastern, or get up to 3 weekly bonus podcasts. You get all of that at patreon.com/Hard Factor. Today, we've got one of the most cruel and unusual pranks of all time to break down with Wes.
Probably the cruelest, I would say. I don't know if this is technically a prank. It's more of like a crime, but it's mean.
It's a permanent prank, like a long-term prank.
It's a long-term prank. Very mean.
Yeah.
Some pranks can be crimes for sure.
Yeah.
Usually a prank's like, you got me for like a couple hours, but
Yeah. No, this is not one of those.
Oh.
This is a lifetime.
Wow. Lifetime implications for this prank. All right. I've got an update on the Rust Belt for everyone. So we all need to keep our fingers on the pulse. What's going on in the Rust Belt?
Yeah.
Not only America's Rust Belt, I've got an update on the world's Rust Belt as well.
I don't even know
Rust Belt.
where the world's Rust Belt is.
Yeah, where would that be?
I'll let you know, and it'll make a lot of sense once I do.
Europe?
And Mark's got bad news for penises to close out the week.
Yeah, very bad news for penises.
So hopefully right before you get good news for your penis, if you have one on the weekend, you hear the bad news so you can know how to avoid it.
Might have a bonus dog story too. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, let's get into it because I do want to get to that bonus talk.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Muzaffarnagar. You ever heard of it?
Art knocker?
Muzaffarnagar.
That sounds like some like motherfucker. Like
Muzaffarnagar.
Is that like a religion or a man?
It's a city. It's a city in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh.
Your mother lives in Muzaffarnagar.
Yeah, your mother is on Muzaffarnagar. Yeah. And it's a place you don't want to go, especially the hospitals there. You might think, oh, India, probably great doctors everywhere. But remember, many of those doctors cheat to pass the medical exams, as we have covered in the past. But the medical corruption reaches a new level in Muzaffarnagar. Just ask Mujahid, who was duped by doctors at the medical college in Muzaffarnagar, and another man named Omra Bakarash, who I will now refer to as Okash because I don't feel like saying his name over and over
Nice.
again. Okash.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You see, to me, it sounds like Okash is a gay man who had been longing to be with Mujahid for years. Mujahid said that Okash had been, one article said molesting, one article said harassing. I think they're the same thing in different languages. To molest is to harass. Over here, molest is to stick your finger in a child's ass. But I think over there it means to harass.
I think it's both, right? Yeah, I mean, you could.
Yeah,
I think you can harass someone, and it can go all the way to molestation, but you could also just be bothering someone.
Right.
But I think molestation is one of the higher levels of harassment.
Right, for sure.
Right.
It's the highest, probably.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, it's up there.
I mean, you get to assault at some point, like when the example was an assault.
Right. And like how assault can be sexual or not, similar with harassment, right?
Yeah.
Well, I know
you can physically assault someone.
You cross the threshold from harassment to assault at some point, right? Like
yes.
It goes from one to the next.
I feel like molestation is both harassment and assault.
It is,
but the higher levels.
It's the transition.
Yeah.
It's the transition act.
Yeah, because you can verbally assault someone.
Yeah,
and that's a high level of harassment.
Okay.
But anyway, like I said, I think Okash is a gay man who's been longing to be with Mujahid for years, and he said that he's molesting him and threatening him. It doesn't mention the exact nature of these molestations, but as you'll soon find out, Okash is capable of just about anything. So Mujahid claims that Okash told him, Mujahid, that he had a serious medical problem. So he's like, hey, Mujahid, you've got a problem. You should probably go to the hospital. And for whatever reason,
he figured this out. He figured this out while molesting him. He checked for lumps.
Right.
Yeah, I guess he felt a lump in the butt or something.
Yeah.
Like a polyp.
So he trusted the man he claims has been pestering him and molesting him for years.
Well, who would know better than Okash if he's got something wrong going on?
It's true. He's explored every inch of his body.
Yeah.
Is it Stockholm syndrome, or is it that he's bullshitting and this was a consensual thing?
You know what, Will? That's a great question. I think we're gonna have to have a discussion that on the end, but I'm not sure. So
now that I've saved your life, I can continue the molestation. Yes.
Oh, he wants to do more than that. So whatever reason, he let Okash just escort him to this hospital. It's a medical college over there. And that was a big mistake. You see, on June 3rd, when Mujahid went to the hospital, he was told he would need to go under anesthesia. So like a moron, he was like, okay, no problem. I go under, put me down, put me under, put me under. And Okash was standing over there grinning from ear to ear. And here's where it gets real bad for Mujahid. In his own words, he said, quote, he brought me here. The next morning I had an operation. When I regained consciousness, I was told that I had been changed from a boy to a girl.
Whoa.
What?
Yeah. To a girl. Yeah.
What?
You get that? Okash and these doctors at this medical college came together and devised a plan to give Mujahid a sex change operation, cutting off his balls and I presume his penis without consent.
What? They front hole surgery him?
They gave him they took everything from him.
Gave him a fake vagina, Mark, in place of his real natural genitalia.
Because Okash said he wanted it?
Yeah, because Okash probably paid these doctors a lot of money.
Okash paid the staff off.
Yeah, I think Okash paid the staff off because Okash wanted Mujahid. He wanted Mujahid in another form, and that was
he can't have it. No one can, maybe too. If Okash can't have that peen,
it's got to be over though, right? Like, I mean, if you're Mujahid, you're going out with your new vagina and you're not going to use it on Okash. You're gonna take it somewhere else.
He's the last person you'd allow to bang your new front hole.
Well, yeah, you'd think that, but again, this is Mujahid we're talking about.
Yeah, he might be Stockholm.
He went back to Okash after this.
Well, here's where it gets real bad. Okash allegedly told him that he would now have to live with him, adding that no one from his family or community would accept him anymore. And Okash threatened to shoot Mujahid's father and seize his share of the family land. You see, Mujahid and his family are farmers, and Okash was not only after Mujahid's front hole, he was after his digging holes too, all of his land.
What? Yeah, this sounds like that Antonio Banderas The Skinnamin movie.
Yeah,
this is fucked up. Okash had it all planned out.
Okash had it all planned out. He's an evil man.
How did he get the doctors to do this? Because you would think that like Mujahid, if his family owns a farm or whatever, are they going to have the money to sue everybody into oblivion? And does that work in India? How does this work?
Well, as we've covered other crimes, usually there's like a town leader that forces a woman to marry a boy after they've been raped. It's all kind of settled within different townships by this.
But this is a forced transition, adult to adult. It's a whole new category. Right?
It's a whole new thing. But and I don't know. The article didn't explain it that well. But so the Mujahid and his father again are farmers, and there's this union called the Bharatiya Kisan Union, or BKU, which is an Indian farmers union, and they're getting Mujahid's back and his dad's back, and they staged a protest outside of the medical college demanding justice for Mujahid, even though Mujahid was probably like, whoa, please do not protest. I don't want anyone to know about this.
What's the justice? Take his dick or his life? I mean, it's gotta be pretty extreme.
You have nothing left to lose when they chopped off your fucking package when you were sleeping.
Do they only pass farms down to sons? Was Okash trying to be like, you don't have a son anymore?
My
farm.
I can't get into the head of Okash on this one. I can't get into his head. But according to the leader of these protests, this guy named Shyam Pal, he says that this is a part of a bigger issue in India, which includes organ trafficking in the same hospital. And apparently there's a lot of this gender reassignment without consent. And I have no idea why that fucking exists, or whether it's like Will said, it was a weird, like double consensual, like, oh, he tricked me, but now I'm the woman I want to be kind of thing. Or if it's Okash is just that evil. I don't know.
California lawmakers are taking notes regardless.
Well, we did a story back in the day about a guy who they put like the wrong testicle or something on the form, and they cut off his like other testicle, or they took his testicles. It was the wrong, but that was like someone misread a form. Obviously bad. This seems like
this is on purpose.
Okash brought him in. Yeah. And then he told him he was going to go under. The doctor's like, yes. And then he woke up with no penis.
Right. Exactly.
It's a plot. That's why the whole farmers union's behind him, because when you hear this story, you can't help but feel bad for Mujahid. I mean, they need
to just kill Okash, dude.
Right. They should have just stoned Okash.
Right.
And not let the police do it, because the police apparently aren't doing anything. Okash's dad, who is obviously very upset that he now has a daughter instead of a son.
Mujahid's dad, yeah.
Mujahid's dad, sorry. He filed a police complaint on June 16th. This article came out just today. And that got Okash arrested, but he's saying that the police are not doing enough. And now this union guy
couldn't do enough.
What can you do?
Not enough you could do.
Literally, what can you do?
I mean, I agree with what a complaint. You don't get that complaint every day.
I mean, the guy had his son's dick chopped off at a hospital that sells dicks. So like Mujahid's not getting his dick back. It got like Indonesia or whatever, where it got sold on the black market. So I mean,
he's trying to betroth his son and take over his land.
Yeah, I think it's. I remember we did that story about I think it was Harvard or one of those medical. The guy was selling the dicks.
Yep.
People use it to I guess put. Yeah, I mean,
human dick sales is a real thing. It's
human dick sales is out there.
People bought Napoleon's dick. I think people tried to get Rasputin's dick. I mean, people buy dicks,
and they want fresh dicks.
There's at least one person besides Okash who's very pleased about this. The guy who's getting the dick shipment.
Right. Yeah. Someone who's got Mujahid's dick in his hand right now. Anyway,
his necklace.
They also demanded that that Mujahid be compensated by the hospital or whoever.
Yeah, 10 trillion rupees, please.
Well, it's rupees 2 crore, which is the equivalent of $240,000 US. That's so I guess. Well, that's probably a huge payday for Mujahid, a poor farmer.
Is it enough to buy the hospital and then make them all his servants for the rest of his life? Because that's what he's owed.
No. But it can go a long way in Muzaffarnagar.
Sure, for sure.
Muzaffarnagar. Anyway, that's the development right now.
He's gonna know him in Muzaffarnagar too. He's the only guy that got his.
Oh, he's got to get out of Muzaffarnagar.
Holy dick cut off.
Yeah, but that's one of the most evil things I've ever heard. Is a fucking cutting.
This is pure evil. Did Okash try to play it off like pranked you, bro?
No, he was he was like, I'm gonna fucking kill your dad now after I cut your dick off,
right?
And take his land.
Make it playful. Well, okay, it was always.
He's like, you've seen what I can do.
Exactly. I was about to say you have to take that threat pretty seriously at that point.
Right.
Yeah. You want to test me again?
No, that's.
You want to test me again?
You got to do what he says at that point.
Yeah.
Still, Mujahid. Why would you trust Okash? I mean,
Mujahid's got to try to kill this guy.
Mujahid's a moron, clearly. And obviously he's probably like traumatized, or if he was seriously being molested, he's probably like a victim, obviously, and that's traumatized. Why it's tough.
You don't know. He could have been into Okash, and Okash used it against him because, like, he's saying molestation. It could have been like a thing where he was into it, and then Okash used it against him, and really used it against him. Whoa.
Yeah. Or
was
this
like-
is just a ploy because Mujahid knows his dad would be very disappointed if he got a sex change. And now it's like looks like it's not him. It was a big fault, but I'm gonna use the hell out of my new hole. Sorry, Dad.
Okash
Who
took a
knows?
little bit of pillow talk a little too seriously when he's like,
Yeah.
if only I had a vagina, Okash,
Yeah.
we could.
If only you could trick me into giving me a vagina.
Now you know. Don't say it.
Yeah. So
Don't tell somebody that. You might wake up. Like
that's what's
Mujahid.
going on. That's what's going on in Mujahid's world.
Yeah.
That sucks.
You tell
That
tell
sucks.
somebody that, and then all of a sudden they want to go on vacation to India. You need to watch
God.
out.
You don't go under anesthesia and Mushfanagar.
Yeah. Watch out in Mujfarnagar.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, it's going to be that kind of Friday, everybody. Full moon this weekend. I think it's like some kind of super moon out there with the summer solstice as well. Because we're going down to the Rust Belt. Okay. The Rust Belt is defined as America's formerly bustling, it's a silent T, I guess, industrial territory, right? Like, so the East Coast, what is that? The Middle East? No, the Midwest, those states all together where they used to have a lot of factories. Motown, they used to be like, cranking shit out. Now it's kind of like the factories aren't as busy. Pennsylvania and Ohio are considered to be the core of
Right.
America's Rust Belt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pittsburgh, Cleveland. Yeah.
Yeah. The centerpiece, the two gems.
The life's blood, the heart. It's a strawberry full moon tonight.
Something crazy. Yeah.
Crazy.
Let's get out there, see it. It's like lunar pause, first time in forever. You got to check out the moon this weekend. Maybe that's why everybody's going fucking nuts in the news. So we're going to start in PA and then make our way over to Ohio for some huge national, potentially international stories coming out of the Rust Belt this week.
All right.
First up, not a tree fucker in Pennsylvania this time, like the Penn State professor that we recently discussed, but we have another wildlife playboy brought to justice as West Virginia man Sean Hirschbane. Check out his mugshot. Describe it to the listeners.
I don't know if he's a white guy or
Tan.
He's
looks
very
like
tan.
He could be like a Florida white guy, but
Yeah.
but he's in Pennsylvania, so he might.
And very weathered, regardless.
Mhm.
Well, he's like in his 40s. He's bald, being bald, pretty bald.
His nose will make you scratch the screen of your computer if you're looking.
Well, I
at
think he got
Right.
popped in the nose.
Lots of facial scars on
Yeah.
Hirschbane.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a West Virginia man. Again, he was arrested though in Adams County, Pennsylvania on Sunday for driving around a school bus. Check it out. There's the outside of it. Cute little school bus, Sean, right?
He shouldn't have been doing that. Something tells me.
Mhm.
Well, you could buy a school bus and convert it into like anything, for a business. Party buses.
I'm
like,
just saying he shouldn't have been doing that. Probably.
when Sean Hirschbane's behind the wheel of a school bus that's unlabeled, yeah, you get a little nervous.
Yeah.
You're like, it's a little different than like the one that's painted like it's supposed to be a business or like a fun
Right.
time.
Right.
Something weird's going on, right? Well, something weird was going on, Mark. You have good instincts because that school bus was full of 30 birds, roosters, ducks, chickens, turkeys, that variety. You see it there. They have the hay they're eating on and all that stuff inside the bus. 3 German shepherds, 1 Australian shepherd, and a bull and pony. There they are. Just
Whoa.
cute as can be, right? The little-
Was he like having people come in and do like a pet farm thing?
Oh yeah, such a pet farm. Mark, look at how cute that
It looks
pony
pretty
and little
stinky
veal
there.
bull right there. Just the cutest pet farm you've ever seen. But Mark, according to the SPCA, the local one who has been given care of all these rescued animals, the birds, now they were being used. Big Fudge in the live comments is onto it. The birds, they were being used to feed the dogs directly with their bodies, as in Hirschbane would take a bird and shove it in a dog's mouth, or maybe split it up into pieces and then chuck it to the dogs, the 4 German shepherds and the 1 Australian, or the 3 German shepherds, 1 Australian shepherd. And so that's what the birds and the dogs were for, basically protection and then feeding the protection. The bull and pony that Hirschbane was carrying around turned out to be what he was actually selling out of the truck. Sean Hirschbane of West Virginia, arrested in Pennsylvania, literally the ice cream man of bestiality. He drives that school bus around.
Holy shit.
And sells access to the baby bull and pony.
He sells pony ass
in the back of the
pony vagina.
Bus. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The Rust Belt's back.
What a bus.
Oh my God. Sean! Sean!
Do you have a, what's his song like?
Yeah, he probably steals a lot of Bang Bus stuff, you know, and then rebrands it for like Bestiality Bus. I don't know exactly what his branding is for the business, but it's very illegal. And I guess that the business there is good in Adams County, Pennsylvania, since that's where he was picked up selling all that bull and pony ass. But no word yet on who's charging him for what, because he's got warrants, Sean Hirschbane does, in West Virginia already. And I'm pretty sure that Pennsylvania would rather ship him back over the border than take him into the prison system forever on their side of the fence. So
no one's
Sean's future is a little up in the air, but he is apprehended.
He crossed state lines with that pony bus.
Oh, it's an interstate operation, Mark.
They were fucking the dogs too, right? I mean, they had to.
You got to think, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Sean said no.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised if some birds got it too.
What are you talking about? Can't fuck a dog on you.
These are for protection.
I'm just kidding. It's just double.
Yeah.
Right. I care about them, so you got to pay more.
These are lookouts.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Didn't know that existed.
How long did that go on?
Shocking episode.
How long did that go on for?
I mean, he looks like he's been doing it a while with all the facial scars. Like, you don't.
Yeah, that bus has been around the block.
Yeah, it's seen some miles.
Dude,
look at the inside of it.
That's the smelliest bus in America.
It's broken in.
Yeah, it's broken in. Holy shit.
You can't do that overnight. That's a couple years, right? Like,
there's a fucking mattress up there too, it looked like.
Yeah, probably. Well, I mean, that's for Sean. That's for Sean. But yeah, you can use it. It's like it's extra.
All right, I'm gonna give you your privacy.
Yeah. He just sits in the front seat right behind his head. Fucking his rooster. All right, taking it over to Ohio. You
led with that one.
God. Yeah, well, that's the biggest one out of the Rust Belt this week. I wasn't gonna bury the lead, guys. Taking it over to Ohio, the other crown jewel of the Rust Belt besides Pennsylvania and West Virginia, neighboring where we just were, where criminal defense attorney Jack Blakesley, you guys will remember him when I show him to you. See him there, Jack? He's defending his criminal there in Ohio, and he looks like he's not giving a fuck at all about the case. You know, that's him. He's Jack.
He looks like any lawyer. He also kind of looks like the cat lawyer. I'm not a cat.
Yeah, a little bit. And well, Mark, he's similar to the cat lawyer because he's been reinstated in the state of Ohio after successfully completing his 6-month sanction for famously, like the cat lawyer, but unlike the cat lawyer, shitting in a Pringles can in 2021 and then tossing it into the parking lot of a local rival. That's this guy, Mark.
The women's center.
Yeah, the women's, where he was pissed off at one of the people he was representing who was like a member there. And so he shit in a Pringles can and tossed it in the parking lot. I think Mark
he tried to say that he always shits in Pringles cans and he always tosses them. It's just coincidental it landed in the front lawn of the defendant or whatever.
Exactly. We've been covering Jack the entire time. I think Mark got him back in 2020 when we first tossed the shit can into the parking lot. Then we did the update where he told the court that he had shit into a Pringles can and tossed it into parking lots at least 10 times that year in 2021.
He said that's his go-to move is to stick his asshole on the comfortable Pringles can.
Yeah. And then just handle his business that way when he's upset with somebody. But apparently his Pringles can shitting and planting days are over because those were basically the terms of his lawyer suspension probation for 6 months, was that he's not allowed to shit in Pringles cans anymore and chuck it into people's parking lots. That was the deal.
He can't buy Pringles anymore.
But he stayed in the same jurisdiction. He didn't move.
He's Noble County still, Wes. Yeah.
Dude, if I was going up against him every time, I'd be like, well, he's shit in a Pringles can. And, like, it's just like, I would instantly bring that up in every case. Like,
Yeah. And then the judge would have to say, well, he served his time.
Right.
And Jack, also, I think he's a public defender or something, and they probably don't have anybody. So they're like, Jack, we need you back because these literally nobody's defending criminals.
That criminal looks so disappointed in his job he's doing.
Yeah, he looks like he shows up hungover and opens the file and he's like, "Who are you?" Like the day of. Like, yeah.
A lot of his clients probably get the shit-filled Pringles cans.
Yeah,
like they make one sly comment to him, and he's like, "All right, that guy's getting a can."
It's like his version of sending out a Christmas card.
Yeah, I know where he lives.
Yeah,
piss me off at work. Why don't you? All right, and a bonus dog over in the world's Rust Belt. Guys, take a guess because you wanted to know. Take a guess where it is.
I want to say Russia.
I would say like Eastern Europe or Africa.
You guys nailed it. Chernobyl is what I would refer to as the world's Rust Belt, famously a nuclear reactor that has been forced to be vacant because of the radiation, when they had the whole Chernobyl nuclear leak incident. But the Ukrainians, that's where Chernobyl is, if you don't know that, it was the USSR, but it's in Ukraine. The Ukrainian regulators are claiming it's now safe to grow crops there again. So that's just fantastic news for the Western world, who gets a lot of its grains for all of its processed foods from where, guys?
There,
Russia.
You guessed it, Ukraine. Ukraine's one of our main grain suppliers. So get ready for not just plastic, but also radioactive Cheerios coming soon to the European or North American grocery kids aisle near you.
Now, are these going to be labeled Chernobyl beans, Chernobyl grains, Chernobyl rice?
No, anything non-organic can have the Chernobyl grains in it now if they're going to start growing them over there.
Dude,
didn't they just have the blue dogs over there? Chernobyl? Yeah.
This is that 1 year later. They're like, no, it's safe to grow corn.
1 year after the blue dogs, it's fine.
It's not safe.
Yeah. And that's again one of the main suppliers of like the main, General Mills, all those people like Ukraine. They get a lot of their grain from there. So ipso facto, radioactive Cheerios probably coming soon to the U.S.
You could make like a fun kids cereal like Radioactivos.
Right. No, I mean you got to lean into it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna feed people Chernobyl food, you got to lean into it and just like
glows in the light.
Chernobylos.
Yeah, Chernobylos, exactly.
Jeez.
Oh, okay.
That's it. That's all the Rust Belts I got today.
I have another bad kind of story. It's going to be bad, a medical story that we shouldn't, that goes along with the radiation that we're about to be putting in our bodies. What do you think this is, guys? What is that?
It's the moon?
Yeah, I was going to say it's another planet, the surface of another planet.
Those are good guesses, but it's a microscope zooming in on microplastics.
Okay.
Those are microplastics, not to be confused with nanoplastics, which are really tiny. Microplastics are small, and they can range all the way from as small as 125,000th of an inch, 25,000th of an inch, which is small, up to 0.2 inches, which is not that small.
No, you can see 0.2 inches.
That's like a centimeter, right? Yeah. So that's technically still a microplastic. And we already knew that microplastics were inside all of us, thanks to bottled water, plastic food containers that we microwave, just zapping a bunch of microplastics off the sides, then forking and spooning
cups.
Forking and spooning them into our mouths like idiots.
Drinking out of cups,
Mm-hmm. But now, for the first time ever, we officially know that microplastics are inside our penises. Penis heavy episode, guys. Microplastics inside the penises, all of them. We all have it.
You got to figure they are, because there was a study before the penises about how they're inside placentas. And so how did they get in the placentas if not from the penises and vaginas?
Well, it was proved that they're in the testicles before, but not the penises. So we probably through either the penis or testicle, but we just assumed it was the testicle until this study came out. So we knew about testicles. We didn't know they were in the shafts. But now we do, thanks to Doctor of Bad News, Ranjith Ramasamy at the University of Miami. So he got out of motherfucker, and he went to the University of Miami. And what happened was guys kept showing up to Dr. Ramasamy saying, "Hey, good news, doc. I live in Miami, so there's a bunch of hot chicks, but bad news, doc. I can't get my dick up for them. So what the fuck happens if I move out of Miami? If I can't get it hard here, where can I get it hard?
Nowhere."
Saying microplastics are causing ED. People have that much plastic in their dick.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Will. And smart
Whoa.
Dr. Ramasamy started examining these broken dicks and found out that every single one of them was chock full of microplastics, just millions of them.
Jeez.
Yeah.
How'd they get so much microplastics?
Because they kept drinking bottled water, Wes, like I do 4 times a day. Just can get some microplastics in my penis, huh?
Yeah, well, so you're telling me that because all of us have microplastics, yet some of us still maintain healthy erections.
Right.
What's the microplastic level that gets you flaccid? They
didn't say, but if you've got ED at an early age, you probably should stop putting plastics. But I mean, all of this plastic's been around since 1862. So I don't know what's been going on. Maybe our grandfathers, the greatest generation, just were keeping their mouths shut and you know, like with their emotions, just bottling up their ED.
Well, they had that old timey artisanal plastic. You know, it was probably less toxic.
It's the cheaper, newer plastic, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Or maybe it's just a scam. He said,
not gay, and I don't have any microplastics in my penis.
That's right. Ramasamy said the penis, like the heart, the 2 best things in the male body are very vascular, and vascular, awesome organs are like the light to a moth for microplastics. They just water slide right through those veins and vessels, and they get jammed up in there. So Dr. Ramasamy concluded that this is great news for companies that sell cheap Viagra. So you might want to buy stock in Hims and Roman and
right.
Okay.
You're gonna need that to counteract the plastics.
Used to be the heart was the worst news. Now the penis definitely takes the cake.
Yeah, it's tough. But Mark, did Dr. Ramasamy give any estimate on when the microplastics will become a full-on like armor plate that just naturally grows on your skin? Because that's going to be when it gets cool.
Yeah, like a ribbed outer, like a ribbed dick.
Like you just get natural shoulder pads.
I feel like if you've got that much microplastics, you probably are going to have severe ED.
Well, no, but you could control it. Like your body it masters the microplastics, makes them useful. You get like shin guards, shoulder pads, and then your dick functions perfectly.
Like a Reebok pump shoe.
Right. There's none in there because it's been drawn to the microplastic areas.
Yeah, if you could like magneto it, or if you could like control the plastics in your body,
it's just evolution. Did Ramasamy tell us when that's kicking in? Because we should be having that.
He didn't, but he did say that we should avoid microwaving foods in plastic containers. So I guess just scoop those onto a non-plastic plate. Tupperware's out.
True. No, heating shit up in Tupperware releases estrogen, all kinds of stuff. Like you really
don't heat it up in Tupperware. Don't heat it up in plastic things. I don't know. I guess do dishes. How long has plastic been around? 1862. All of a sudden, this is the thing. I don't know.
Maybe you just nailed it though. What if it's microwaving the plastic so much is what's fucking doing it?
When's the microwave been around? Since like 1950, 40?
Later than that. The 70s.
70s, 60s. 1945. I nailed it. Come on.
45 microwaves?
This is just a thing. All of a sudden, plastics 1862. I don't know. Maybe seems like a big push to scare us in this. Or I mean, I believe that we have a ton of microplastics in our bodies. And I also believe our grandfathers didn't talk about their ED. But apparently we also have 3 times the amount of microplastics in our testicles as dogs. And dogs, first of all, I don't know who's measuring microplastics in dog testicles. That seems like they should be defunded.
Yeah. Well, obviously it's important though, because if the microplastics are everywhere, they
found that out first. It seems like
how deep they go. Well, it's because the Beagles, Mark. Sorry, don't.
Yeah, it's probably
just a sore subject, but of course they found it out in dogs first.
Nevo or whatever. Yeah, dogs eat shit off the grounds, off the cement and the asphalt in the backyards. They eat actual shit, but they have way less microplastics in their genitals. So yeah, we got a bunch of tiny, permanent mini kidney stones floating around in the form of plastic in our dicks.
So it's it's to stop drinking out of water bottles and
anything that's plastic. That contains a liquid or food that you then put from the plastic into your body is potential, I guess.
Okay. But I did see somewhere that there's new bacteria in the ocean that eats plastic. It's attacking that giant plastic barge that sits out there in the ocean. So eventually they'll put that into a pill.
Yeah, well, can you get your crystal ball out?
It'll unplastic your dick eventually.
Do you have the crystal ball handy?
It's my daughter's new favorite toy.
Okay. Well, I don't need it because I can sense it, and I predict that some company is about to make a mint off of a pill or a shot that breaks down microplastics in the next few years.
They want to get their hands on that bacteria that's eating the plastic out in the ocean, because that's you know what, Mark? With this study coming out, I'm betting you that company already has it going, and this is just them gearing people up to buy the fuck out of it.
If you keep scaring people into saying that your dick is filled with microplastics and you're definitely going to get ED, that's going to outsell Tylenol.
My dick's felt weird this whole segment.
Yeah. You're going to buy that pill.
Well, how'd you like a microplastic pill for $300 a month?
Yeah.
Clear it right up.
If I just don't think about it, I'll be all right.
Sure.
That's how it works usually.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Quick bonus dog 10 of the week. Update. The first ever Miss AI competition, beauty competition, Miss AI. You have to be an AI machine judged by the famous Spanish Miss AI or AI that was making $200,000 a month that we covered. Yeah. And another AI judge, and then a few humans, is down to the final 10. I'm just going to randomly bring up the photos.
Final 10.
Okay. Wow.
Down to the final 10.
A lot of work to get down to the final 10.
Yeah.
When they create one every second. So
there was only 6 billion applicants.
Whittled down from 6 billion to 10. So this is a great honor for the final 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
We find out later this month who's crowned. I'm just going to bring them all up. That's Anne Curdy from France. She's like a business
How is
lady.
she from France?
Because she was created by French people.
Yeah.
So she's from France, representing France, and she looks like she'll give like a TED talk. That's her talent. Is like she's like a business lady.
She looks like one of those like clay, not clay, but when you go to a wax museum figure, that's what she looks like.
A little bit. Yeah.
She looks waxy.
Little off.
Yeah.
How about
CEO
from India,
Yeah.
Zara Shatavari, who's a fitness model and plays sports. As you can see, she's in a basketball court with basketball. She's
India is way better than France. I'll tell you that right off the bat.
Okay.
Yep. She's winning so far.
Yeah.
What about Olivia C from Portugal? Who looks like a 1990s male guest model.
Yeah, exactly.
What are they doing in
those
Portugal?
She got DSLs.
She looks like an effeminate pretty boy from those like jean commercials.
Yeah.
Is she like the fifth member of Jet? Like,
yeah, they fucked up the lips. Yeah.
Yeah, she's out. What about Serene I from Turkey?
I love it, but why is she a fighter pilot? You know?
Well, because they all have professions. Well, she's a fighter pilot.
She looks very AI to me.
Yeah, no body. It's tough. You can only see her face. So I'd
say like an avatar.
That's a loser because you can't. They cheated by putting one AI head on basically a real like fighter pilot picture.
Like
those are man's arms too.
Yeah, that one arm is huge.
Yeah.
Hot redhead. What about Kenza Laili from Morocco?
Looks real.
Traditional garb.
Yeah, she looks real.
Library. I don't know why the only thing untraditional is that they let her read, but
you can see her face.
Morocco and India smashing so far. Yeah.
All right, Morocco and India up there. A few more. Another one from France. This looks like Nancy Mace Lalina. She looks pretty realistic.
Very realistic. Yep.
I guess she's into art.
Yeah.
Better than the first French contender.
I would believe she's real.
Yeah. And then
attainable.
Elisa Khan from Bangladesh.
No, they made her look too like an old timey painting.
Yeah.
You can't. That doesn't look realistic.
I don't know much about Bangladesh, but she looks more like a
Thai.
Yeah. All right.
Lady boy.
Yeah. How about Aina Rainbow from Romania?
Why?
She's in the fitness club.
Why the rainbow hair?
Because her last name's Rainbow, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
She looks AI. She looks too AI to me too.
Yeah, the hair's impossible to make in real life. That's
arms are pretty tone.
Yeah.
Ayla Lu from Brazil. Her eyes, to me, like the one side of the face looks completely different. She looks
bigger.
The most AI, in my opinion.
Yeah, that looks totally fake.
Yeah, I don't know how she made the final 10. And then my favorite, Asina Alik from Turkey. I'd buy a Mercedes from her.
Yeah. She looks real. She looks pretty good.
Yeah, so the second French one, Turkey, Morocco, India. Those are the top 4.
Yeah, anyone else that wins, it's a robbery.
Yeah.
We'll find out. We'll let you
they're doing pretty good. You're right, Mark. The hands are getting better. It's getting better.
It's getting better.
But this is a sneaky. Yeah. They put the hands other than the thumbs in the pockets. That was smart.
Right.
That's a cheat move. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyone
But
else even
smart.
showing hands? See, there's a lot of hands in pockets, fellas.
A lot of hidden hands for
a lot
sure.
of hands in pockets. She has
They
fake
hit her
arms,
entire
no
body.
hands.
Yeah,
You
I don't
can't
see
win
many
if you're not
hands.
showing hands. That's
There's
a
a
good one.
hands and
That's but then she looks
those are kind
waxy.
of fucked up.
but the
Yeah.
rest of her,
Yeah.
looks weird as fuck.
I count
Yeah.
6 fingers on her microphone hand.
Oh,
What
you're
about
right.
the library
six-fingered
chick?
man.
Oh yeah, look at the library chick's hands. They're huge,
But they're
too.
covered by books. See,
Yeah,
like they,
but also they are fucked up though. Look at them.
Yeah, the thumb is like weirdly big. It looks like
Yeah.
a alien claw.
Yeah,
it's got to be the Turkish thought that sells you Mercedes. That's my
Yeah,
opinion.
Turkey,
Yeah.
India too. They hid the hands. Shoot, that was good. Good call.
That's the show.
cool.
Wow, a lot going on in the AI model world. Wow.
Yeah. That's it. Another week in the books. We hope that everyone's having a good start to the summer solstice, Fat Boy Summer. Check out the store. Have a great weekend. Get out there, spread the word about Hard Factor. Most importantly, have a great fucking day and weekend. Talk to you on Monday.